Mars Blackman here again. You know, nobody in the world could cover my main man, Michael Jordan. Nobody. Nobody.
Today, I invite you on a journey to what will become not only the start of an empire, but the current sneaker culture as we know it today. This is the first in a 6-part series from the perspective of a longtime member of the sneaker culture, even before I knew what it was. How did that perspective change from a young kid from the inner city who just wanted to be fresh, be fashionable, and then coupling that with one of the most exciting basketball players ever committing aerial assaults on my hometown team? This is the first-hand account of a young man who was there from the inception of the Air Jordan sneaker to it being Nike's most recognized and best-selling sneaker to date. This is Air Jordan history, the prequel. As a young man growing up in the city of Detroit, I was bred to be fly. As long as I can remember, the key part of being fresh was your shoes. For the majority of my life, I've put together looks, whole outfits from the sneaker up. Back in the 80s is when this became evident as young men ran the streets in new Nike sneakers, stepping away from the Chuck Taylors of the 70s and the chokehold Converse had on the athletic sneaker market. Now, of course, this particular series is based on my memory, so without having to use Google too much, I will remain factual, right? So there were sneakers from Pony. If I remember correctly, I believe that they might even have an endorsement from Spud Webb, maybe, I think. It was definitely the Etonics. Etonics was out. I believe that was Dominique Wilkins. You had Reeboks, Avias, or Avias, however you want to pronounce it. And of course, you had Adidas. Being from Detroit, I definitely remember top 10s and forums. Nike was starting to break away from the pack with the all-time staple, the high-top Air Force One, along with the whole Air Force series, and of course, Blazers. Now, during this transition period, little did we know, a young man born in Brooklyn, New York, was down in North Carolina starting a path that would catapult him to the unequivocal leader of today's current sneaker culture. Now, I know personally, the first time I remember learning about Laney High School, Emsley A. Laney High School in Wilmington, North Carolina, for me was in 2000 when the Laney 5 was released for the first time. However, this is where we start the prequel, at none other than Laney High. Now, another piece of info that I later learned about Laney was that Mike initially did not make the varsity team. The rumor I had believed was Mike got cut from his sophomore team, but his high school coach, Pop Herring, tells a different story.
Laney High School when he was a sophomore, doing away with the Hollywood version, he did not get cut. When he was in the 10th grade, he made the team, played JVs, and then his junior, senior year, he played on the varsity team, and as I say, the rest is history.
Now, after becoming a star player for the Laney Buccaneers in 11th and 12th grade, he decided to commit to UNC. Coincidentally, the same year I was born, go figure, where he continued to dominate players with his fast-paced, high-flying game as a Tar Heel. This leads up to his monumental game-winning shot versus Georgetown in the 1982 NCAA championship. Now, this is where Mike began to be more of a household name, a name people knew on a more national level. He was gaining notoriety. He was playing for Dean Smith at a top-notch college. He was getting his recognition, you know. Now let's fast forward to 1984, where the game really changed for Mike. Now, in a way, 1984 was a prequel in itself to what would become the greatest career in the history of the NBA. Michael went to Indiana to audition for the Olympic team, which at that time was only for amateur, namely college players. Jordan was also on the first Olympic team that did allow NBA players to play. We now refer to that squad as the 1992 Dream Team. Back in '84, though, Mike easily rose to the top of those chosen to play in the Olympics. Most college players expected to enter the draft were in New York, waiting. But Mike was in Los Angeles, practicing, preparing to dominate actual NBA players. By the time the summer of '84 ended, Mike had a USA gold medal and a spot waiting for him in Chicago.
For the third pick in the Chicago Bulls, who have been drafting very high down through the years, and they have the third pick today.
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
So Michael Jordan, who right now is in Bloomington getting ready for the upcoming Olympics, and this man is a can't miss. And whether a guard spot or the forward at 6'6", 195 pounds.
Mike made his debut with the Chicago Bulls in October of 1984 in a series of preseason games wearing airships. Airships. Yes, airships. Some people don't know that Mike was not wearing, he did not start in Air Jordan 1s. Technically, Nike hadn't even signed the contract with him yet. Well, should I say he hadn't signed a contract with Nike. He was shopping around with Converse, and some people don't know that he also almost signed with Adidas. Can you imagine Air Jordans being an Adidas company? Anyway, he hadn't signed with Nike just yet, so he was wearing the basketball court sneaker, the Airship. Now, during this preseason, Michael and Nike will make a decision that will begin a dominant era of market share of athletic sneakers. Michael chose the black and red colorway of the Airship to wear in the game versus the New York Knicks on October 18th, 1984. Wait, October 18th, 1984? October 18th, 1984. Yes, that date may sound familiar and definitely will sound familiar to any true Jordan head in this culture. You see, little did they know that shoe on that day in one of the NBA's most iconic arenas, Madison Square Garden, would organically create Nike's signature marketing campaign. This date was the game that got Michael Jordan's shoes banned.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Air Jordans from Nike.
Detroit Dave. Yeah. 31 Trey in the building. Detroit Dave on the motherfucking track. Yeah, 7 miles. So I'm from the D, right? Detroit, Michigan, the murder mitten. So just sit back and relax. Let me tell you about my hood. Yes. I'm from the D, bitch, you better get your mind right. And if you in my sights, better grip your 9 tight. And if you steal my rhymes, so you take a line bite, I'll leave
This is Detroit Dave. Now that we're in 2023, I'm back to this channel with a renewed effort. I hadn't been making videos since 2018, and I've had a lot of people that have actually asked me, when am I coming back? And people that want to see me back. So hopefully you see the improvements and the direction that I'm trying to take this channel. Now, if you like what I'm doing and you can see the vision, you can see where this channel is going, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Grow with me. I'm definitely making improvements and more will come. Now, if you like what you're watching when you're seeing these videos, and this is going to be the more educationally focused videos that I'm doing going here on out, go ahead and let me know by hitting that like button. When you hit that like button, I see it. I know that you like what you're doing. It motivates me to continue to make these educational videos, and it helps me get into this algorithm that YouTube has going on. Now, as you're watching this series, if you can't wait to see the next part and you want to make sure you know exactly when it's dropping, go ahead and hit that notification bell and select all of the notifications so you can do just that. You chilling? Hey, Detroit Dave just dropped Series X Part 3. It's time. I definitely appreciate you guys, man. I'm really here to improve this channel and give you more of the natural sneaker knowledge that I know from being part of the culture for over 25 years. Thank you. Let's grow together in 2023.
And when it comes to the gear, you shouldn't be short, man. You already hit fair